What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to go over the newest addition to Heroes of the Storm, Garrosh. I'm going to try my best to pronounce his name correctly. I end up saying Garrosh a lot, but I know that it's pronounced Garrosh. So Garrosh is finally released. He is on the live patch. And what I wanted to do with this video is just go over builds with the character, and then I'm going to upload after this video a gameplay using one of the 3 builds that I'm going to talk about right now. I also want to add that at the end of this video and at the end of my gameplay video, I might have a little special gift for you guys. So if you watch through the videos, you can catch that gift. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into this. There are 3 sort of builds for Garrosh. I would say he has his main tank build, he has his off tank build, and he has his, I would say, solo lane build. So the 3 builds are definitely all different from each other. They all hold a lot of some of the same spells. I would say the one thing that stays consistent throughout most of these builds is the Decimate talent. I just find this talent to be really powerful, even with Taunt being a really strong ability. In most cases, Decimate will get more value, although I do think that there is an argument for Taunt at level 10. And this is going to be for really all of the builds. But Decimate does add tons of power to your kit. It allows you to kite people, it allows you to engage on people, it makes landing Groundbreaker easier, it allows to body block easier, all sorts of stuff. One thing that Garrosh really has a hard time with is escaping. And by giving Decimate, you kind of give yourself a sort of self-peel, being able to AoE and slow people around you. So first build we're going to talk about right now, and I've already talented into it, is the MainTank solo tank build. This build is built around, engaging for your team, peeling for your team, and just being a front line. So level 1, we're going to take body check. This also is a build very similar to the one that I talked about before with Piano Garrosh. So I was fairly correct on the build originally, and it still seems very powerful. At level 1, we're going to take body check. This damages and slows. The more armor that we have, the more damage and slow it will do. So this also talents very nicely with our 13 that we'll talk about here in a bit. This is just like your walk up to someone and maybe you pull them. Arthas is not allowing me to show what I'm talking about, but let's say you throw them away and then you can slow them, right? So it's a peel in itself. Maybe you need to knock Arthas off of your support, and then you throw away the butcher the other direction, right? That's kind of the idea of it. It's just another guaranteed slow that is targetable and that does do a good amount of damage depending on how weak you actually are, considering it scales on your armor. At level 4, we're going to take Indomitable. I believe that this is just the best talent of the 3. I will say, the way I look at this talent is it's Joanna passive, right? Except it doesn't give you a shield, but it allows you to dodge things like Butcher charges and Jaina rings and, ETC slides even. And then, even further past that, we can talk about ETC Ws and things that might peel you off. You can make yourself unstoppable, so you might get that killing blow on somebody, right? Running through a chromie slowing stance, something along those lines. So I think it's a really powerful talent, and it's necessary as a main tank. If the other team doesn't really have any abilities that seem threatening, or let's say they only have slows and you feel like you could get value somewhere else, I do think In for the Kill is also very powerful. It's a great wave clear mechanic. You honestly can Q the wave and then just slash through them with your Bloodthirst. So it's pretty good if you don't need the Indomitable, but this is going to bring a lot more impact to the team fight. And then if you don't need to wave clear and you have good sustain, so let's say you're in a composition with like a Kael'thas Malfurion, then I think Thirst for Battle can be really powerful too. This is a battle momentum for your auto attacks and for your Bloodthirst talent. So So I really think that, you know, there are a case for each of these talents, but I do think Indomitable as a main tank is probably the best. Looking at our level 7 talents now, we are really, I think, only going to take Into the Fray. This talent is just too powerful not to take it. On such a low cooldown, you can use this to peel your team or set your team up for an engage. So in certain cases, let's say you have, I don't know, a Stitches on your team, right? You can throw the Stitches in front of the person that's running away from you, and now he has a body block on them. The same goes for, let's say, if this is a Butcher and this is your Kael'thas. You can throw the Kael'thas away from the Butcher, right? So to me, this talent is just too powerful not to take. It's so versatile. It is a cleanse. So a good example of a time that I've used it and it's felt really powerful is we were against a Zul, and the Zul was rooting my teams, right? So every time my team would get rooted, I would throw them away, and then that would remove the root and they could run away. The same would be for a Chromie time lapse, or, you know, some sort of other effect like that, right? A guaranteed, even a Malfurion root. You can throw someone out of a Malf root on your team if you need to. So I think this talent is really, really just too powerful. I will say if you feel as though you can't, or, you know, maybe don't have the mechanics or the understanding of the hero just yet to use it, I really think that Intimidation is probably the next best. This is just going to make your Q do attack speed cooldown reduction when you hit something for 4 seconds. So it's pretty good against like Butchers and Illidan's. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a thunderclap on your Q. So you won't really be using your Q to pull people towards you, but, you know, you can really think of it as a, you know, if I land Q, then I've thunderclapped like on Muradin. So I do think the Intimidation could be used, but Into the Fray just feels almost too powerful. So we've already talked about Decimate and Warlord's Challenge. I do think Warlords is pretty good if you have follow-up. So we used it a lot on PTR with the Rag Smash. So we would taunt, they would all walk up to hit the Garrosh, and then we would Ragnar Sulfur Smash and, you know, Wombo. So it's pretty good for a Wombo. If you can pull people in and then you can cast a spell on top of them as they're running towards you. You just have to be careful what the other team has, and, you know, if you're safe enough to take it, which I've always felt that Decimate is a bit more safer. But again, if you create a composition that is built around womboing, then I think Warlords can be really powerful as well, like a Sonya Leap, or, you know, some sort of Ring of Frost. Even maybe Ring of Frost is kind of pushing it because it takes a second, but, you know, an instant cast abilities, quick abilities that can follow up on the taunt. Warlords could be good. At level 13, this talent I think is just far too necessary. I was using defensive measures a lot, and while I think this shield is really big, I think giving yourself Hardened Shield is just better, and you get Hardened Shield at level 13. So I don't really know the math for this, and I'm gonna have a hard time testing it. We can maybe try to test it here on this boss. So obviously, as you lose health, you gain armor. And what we want to do is, the armor cap is 75. So around like here, right? If we activate this now, we will be at 75 armor, which is, again, a Hardened Shield, right? Obviously, we're not always going to be there, but what's cool is this stays active for 3 seconds. So if you do hit it at, let's say, a healthier health, maybe when you're at 30 armor, you'll be at 60. Maybe you're still taking damage, and then you'll kick to the 75, right? So I just find this talent to be really too necessary. When the other team collapses on Garrosh, it just feels like a lot of the time he dies quickly, and this talent says, no, 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 I'm gonna not die. This is your panic talent. This is your panic talent for being a tank. If you feel as though you can't manage this extra button, Blood Craze is pretty powerful, and Blood Craze works really well with the Thirst for Battle talent. So if there is a game where you know, you do get the Thirst for Battle talent instead of Indomitable, and you don't feel like the enemy team's engaging on you. Double up. Blood Craze can be really powerful, and I'll talk about that here in a little second on a different build. At 16, we're going to take Earthshaker. Again, I find this talent to be just too powerful. Not only can you throw now enemies towards your team, but when they hit the ground, they're going to be stunned. And what this allows for is follow-up, right? So it does say, you know, stuns enemies near impact, but it includes itself. So as you can see here, he's stunned for 0.75, and as you guys might know, you know, following up CC on a stun target is fairly easy. So things like Malfurion Root, Uther Stun, Tyrande Stun, Valorraine of Vengeance, you know, really Sonya Spear, anything, any sort of follow-up damage, Cursed Bullet can come off of that, and I do find that to be just too powerful to give up. Again, we don't need the slow because we have that in body check, and you know, you also have the ability to maybe you throw and it hits 2 people and you stun 2 people, so really powerful, and works really well with the taunt talent as well. If you do end up taking taunt at 10, you can taunt them in, then after the 1.5 seconds goes, toss them up on top of each other, and you got yourself a 2.25 second stun. And at level 20, if we are going to be taking Decimate, we're going to take Deadly Calm. This allows for our Decimate to reduce the damage of targets by 20% for 3 seconds. So it's pretty good. Really just kind of keep yourself alive and keep your team alive, right? There's nothing wrong with reducing damage of enemies, considering you're already reducing their damage from your base armor. I do think that Warlord's Challenge can be good. Or yeah, if you take Warlord's Challenge, then Death Wish can be really powerful. This way though, if you use it, you really do want to make sure that you're gonna get a wombo, and you know, you can taunt someone. You know, maybe even don't taunt them when they're full health. Maybe you wait till they're like 30% or something, taunt them, you get the execution, then taunt again, you get the execution. So it's pretty nice, and again, it powers up your level 16, right, on Earthshaker. If you taunt them for 2 seconds, then you can toss them up for another 0.75. So you got almost a 3-second CC where someone can kill them on your team, right? We'll reset the talent super quick to look at that, just so you guys can see that in action. So I can just kind of show you what I mean by that. So you're hitting the person, right, and you taunt. At the end of that taunt, you would throw them up, right? And there in itself is a 2.75 CC. So that's a lot of time for your team to hit that person. It's a lot of time for you to hit that person. You just got to execute it correctly, right? So pretty good for a main tank. This would be the main tank build, like I said before. The next build that we are going to talk about is the DuoTank build, and this is if you have a solo laner that isn't Garrosh, say like you're running a triple melee where you have Illidan, Garrosh, ETC, or a Falstads in the solo, or the Zebos in the solo, Zagars in the solo, and then you have the Garrosh in the 4-man. This is the talent build that I would like to go. Level 1, we're going to take Warbreaker. This talent is really good to set up with another CC. So if you have an engaged CC, like I said, an ETC is a good example. Maybe even a Stitches, you can follow up his hooks. You know, this way you will get your Q quest done. And I think that having a guaranteed way to get the quest done is really powerful. There is some sort of argument to unrivaled strength, but I think Warbreaker just feels really good. It increases the damage of your Q and it decreases the cooldown of it, so you can spam it more and more often, and you're very likely to get the quest done. At level 4, we are going to take Thirst for Battle. If Indomitable isn't important here, again, if you don't need a CC, if you have another main tank, then you probably won't need it. Then you'll probably take Thirst for Battle here. And in this composition too, you probably will have a mage, hopefully, behind you. So my ideal composition, just so you have a better understanding of the build and the choices, would be something like Kael'thas, ETC, Garrosh. Okay, so Thirst for Battle, this is going to kind of give you some more damage in a team fight, and allow you to self-sustain yourself, so your tank can get the heals and you won't need them. At level 7, we again are going to take Into the Fray. Just too powerful, throwing in ETC for mosh pits, things like that, peeling, just too powerful. At level 10, we are going to take Decimate. We can still take Warlords if we want to continue to change CC. But Decimate, again, is going to add some damage, going to give you some peel, going to give you some chase. 13, we are going to take Blood Craze. So this is the talent choice I was telling you about before. If you do opt to go into Thirst for Battle, then I think Blood Craze can be powerful, as you'll be able to, you know, let's see, let me toggle my cooldowns off. You can heal yourself, you get like 4 autos in, and you heal yourself again. And you're healing yourself for 20% of your health every time you do W. So pretty powerful, good self-sustain. Again, takes a little bit of the, you know, the heals from your healer away so they can heal something else, right? And the idea there is you're an off tank, so you don't need healing, sort of like Arthas when he hits Army of the Dead. And at 16, we are going to take Earthshaker. Again, I think Mortal Combo can be pretty good here, right? Since you're going to be guaranteed hitting your Q. But I just feel like that stun on Earthshaker is too powerful not to take. And at level 20, we're going to take Deadly Calm. Titanic might, a lot of the times, I feel can be good, but it also can be punishing because let's say you really just want to throw the Butcher away, right? But there's a Butcher and a Kael'thas beside of each other, and you just want to throw the Butcher away so you can kill the Kael'thas. Sometimes you, with this talent, you might throw Kael'thas and Butcher away, and I don't think that that's very good, right? Or, you know, you have Murden and Butcher diving your frontline, your ETC, and you choose to throw the Butcher into your backline so that you can kill him. Now you might be throwing Murden and Butcher into your Chromie, and the Chromie is just dead. So, although I feel like this talent can get value, if it had like a cooldown reduction too or something else, I would think about it. But for now, Deadly Calm just feels better. And again, you know, you would just be following up your tank, sort of like that, right? That's your basic combo on your tank. I mean, that's your basic combo on this character in general, but yeah, that would be your follow-up. So the last build that we're going to be talking about. So again, this is the off tank. If you're in the 4-man, you got a mage, you got a Sun CC in front of you. Really good build here. Last build that we want to talk about is the solo lane Garrosh, and I have not fully tested it, but I have played this one game and it felt really powerful. And the idea of the kind of build is that, you know, most of the time solo lanes are shorter. You're kind of pushing into the middle of your wave, and then you're fighting each other within the wave, right? And so my first talent is Unrivaled Strength. This is going to allow you to throw people further, and it deals a little extra damage, which isn't too important, but it is kind of important because we're going to take In for the Kill at level 4. This is the Bloodthirst reset on minions, and this heals you. This is your self-sustain in lane against certain heroes like Sonya or something. So the two ideas of these two talents here is if you need to, let me turn off the Arthas really quick. So if you need to wave clear the enemy's lane super quick, right? And this is, again, so if you want to push out the lane, I think the minions, refresh minions. So if you want to push out the lane really quick, let's turn off mouth too. They just need to have these things turned off. Okay, so yes, you want to push this really quick. You can use that extra damage of your throw to then guarantee that you wave clear the wave. So again, I'll show you one more time, and this is why the extra damage is important. Let me double check, because I think you can possibly throw and then you can W everything down. Okay. So yeah, so you can throw, you have to throw then Q, but if you throw then Q, you can W the entire wave down. So that's really powerful for, you know, instantly wave clearing, shoving a lane, which is again another thing that most solo laners need to do. But the other thing that Unrivaled Strength does is if, you know, let's say the enemy opposing laner is pushing into you, it's a Sonya, and she's spinning on your minions, you can then throw her into your gate, right? Because you'll be able to throw her far enough. I'm imagining Dragonshire. So imagine Dragonshire, she's spinning on your wave, probably right in here. You can then throw her over here, right? And then these towers are gonna hit her, and then you can start trading on her from there, right? So that's the other reason why I like Unrivaled Strength, outside of the fact that it does allow you to then one-shot the wave off of your throw plus Q. So 2 really cool reasons for it, but again, this is a experimental build, but it could possibly be really powerful. At level 7, you guys know it already. We're gonna go into the fray. Throwing an ally, just too good. It's just too good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, maybe you could take Oppressor if you really need to beat like an Alarak or something in lane, but it just doesn't feel like on this guy you're autoing too much. You are autoing, obviously, but you're not autoing the people that you need to reduce their attack speed or their spell power. And then with the Intimidation, again, you know, if you don't feel too confident on this ability, Intimidation can be good. And maybe I'm just completely wrong and this is overpowered, especially with, you know, if you do take Warbreaker and you can Q and slow everyone's attack speed for 4 seconds on a 2-second cooldown or whatever. So maybe I'm wrong, but I just think Into the Fray, it's too powerful. I've gotten so much value with it. Yeah, so at level 10, we are going to take my personal favorite again, Decimate. Just really good for the lane, as always. Really just have no problems with this talent. There's a good example of the wave clear. Good peel, good chase, good damage. Just kind of makes Garrosh a threat. At level 13, we are going to be taking Double Up. I just think Double Up is still really powerful. If you don't think that the enemy team is going to try to one-shot you, you know, maybe Blood Craze. But the thing with Blood Craze is in a team fight. Let's say on a map like Infernal Shrines, right? This is where I tested the build out. So if you guys want a little, you know, maybe before it becomes meta knowledge, so Infernal Shrines, right? We have the little skeletons, and much like Kerrigan's Q in for the kill does the exact same thing on the skeletons, except it gives you full refund on the mana, unlike Kerrigan. So I'm not sure why they did that. But anyways, you know, rest in peace, Kerrigan. You know, this is a really, really powerful talent, and you want to be using your W on minions, right? But Blood Craze says you have to use it on a hero. So you're kind of going against yourself there with that. And again, Double Up just gives you that, you know, oh, you're going to engage on me, I'm going to double up, you're not killing me now. Factor in defensive measure. A lot of the time when you're pulling people in, you don't need a shield because, you know, let's say I'm like, oh, they're diving me, I need a shield, right? In order for you to get that shield, you need to hit stuff here, but you're getting dove, like they're hitting you. So a lot of the time you're just not, this is not going to activate. We're Double Up, guaranteed activation, guaranteed panic button. Just always going to be powerful. At level 16, my personal favorite, again, as always, is going to be Earthshaker. Just too good. And 20, Deadly Calm. So a lot of these 16, 20 talents are the same, but this is the solo lane. And again, the idea of the lane is like, if let's say there was the Sonya out here spinning, right? Or, you know, she's spinning on my wave, I can maybe hit a Q on her and then throw her behind my wall. But if that's not the case, you know, she's spinning out here, I can just throw her into my tower range, right? But that is going to be it for my 3 Garrosh builds. Hopefully these give you an idea, and I will say that I don't know 100% if they're all correct. They're still obviously experimental. They feel good, but I haven't had enough time to test them as the hero just came out live today. But hopefully this will give you an idea, a base to build upon. Maybe there's talents that you like more, and in which case, please play them, you know, use them instead. But for the gift, all you have to do to get into this, I'm going to be giving away a Garrosh bundle. It comes with the mount, this skin and the base color and Garrosh. All you have to do is comment on this video below. Tell me what you think is the most overpowered part about Garrosh. If it can be his armor, it can be his throw, it can be his Q, it can be his sustain, it can be that he's an orc, it can be that he's a chainsaw axe. Just let me know in the comments below. All you have to do is, again, follow, subscribe, comment, and that's it. Yeah. like, subscribe, comment, like. That's it. Subscribe, comment, like. I'm so used to Twitch. I haven't been on YouTube in forever, but let me know in the comments below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, also check out my tier list, which is also below in the description, and as well as you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those will be in the description as well. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be giving this bundle away probably in the next few days. So what is it today? It is now Tuesday, the August 8th. So on Thursday, I'm gonna give this away. So in 2 days from now, I'm giving this away. And I will be uploading a gameplay of this hero later tonight, hopefully, if I can get the gameplay recorded. And we're going to do another giveaway on that video. So if you don't win this one, go to that one. I'll have another question there. But until the next video, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.